Hey everybody, good morning. It is 8:17 in the morning. It's the 24th of March 2022. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do an update on the S&P 500, update on NASDAQ, and what I want to do is kind of, give my view on what's happened over the last day. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just giving my opinion on the market. I'm going to try and make today, rather quick, quick and easy. If you need access to our Discord, you can access all of the information on BitDoctor.org, including how to use our indicator, how to get access to our indicator, how to get access to our Discord, and we have a promo code through the end of March, which is March Madness, which will give you $100 off your first month subscription, and you'll be able to get into some of the same trades that we've been able to get to over the last 2 weeks on Nvidia and Tesla. We've just been absolutely destroying the market there. So let's go ahead and move on into. We're going to start with the S&P. So, taking a look at this, again, just trying to keep this nice and simple, I just want to point out a couple things here. All right, so first off, we've got a nice dominant pivot low right here. I'm not taking into account futures. Nice dominant pivot low here, nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can count this as a nice 5-wave impulse. I'm going to try and tag that there. And then we've got a nice pullback off of this. Okay, so, with this, we should be targeting this move right up here to about 46.63. I'm going to put the 1618. I'm also going to put the 175 on there because the S&P in particular has historically really paid close attention to that 175. So I'm going to put that on there as well. And that's going to be sitting right there about 4,700. So I'm looking for a move to about 4,650 to 4,700 in the next, I don't know, maybe week and a half. And again, looking at this from an late wave perspective, from the bottom here, we've got a nice 1, and then we've got a 2 here, and it looks like we've got a 1, 2, working on the 3, 4, 5 into the 3, go down into the 4, and then we're going to go up to potentially new highs. Just for full disclosure, if we can push through major resistances, I do expect us to get to about 5,500 to 6,000. And it could be by summer, and then I think we actually start a pretty steep decline from there. That's just my, my bird's eye view of where I think the market's going to go. But I think we are starting that last wave up, which again could see pretty significant extensions to the upside. But that's what I'm looking at there. So, but down here again, kind of looking at this, got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as I mentioned. We've got a nice A, B, C down here, and then from this low again, I see a nice 1, 2, and then working on this move to the upside. So let's go ahead and count this here really quick. So from down here, we'll start about right here. We've got a 1, 2, and then again working on that 3, 4, 5 on a lesser degree. That's generally what I'm expecting to see out of this. From this low, I'm seeing that we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3. 3 could be in. We've got that 4, which might actually be in. Then we go up for the 5 on a lesser degree, which would give us our wave 3. All right. And if we're taking a look at this, from a subdivision standpoint, I think this works out pretty well. So far, we've seen, from this top here, this would have been not yesterday, but the day before, a gap down and a further move to the downside. Keeping in mind, guys, that this market, since we bottomed all the way back here, I know futures went lower, back here on February 24th, let's just go ahead and take a look and see how high the market has gone since then. So it went as high as about 9.83%. So a nice 10% rally, roughly, from the lows there. And what kind of a pullback have we seen? Well, we've really only seen about 1.5%. That's not significant. But with this, if this is the one, right, and I always say this with an if, because we don't know for sure till the count's done. We're just trying to put probability on our side. If we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1, and then we get a deep 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here into the 3, and you could even count a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 5th of that wave 3. So if that's the wave 3, then wave 4 shouldn't be as deep because wave 2 was sharp. Wave 4 should be, roughly pretty shallow. we'd be looking for a move to probably the 236, maybe the 382, but let's just see kind of where we're at. We fell basically right to the 236 exactly. So I don't know if it's really easy for you to see that. But right there, that 236, let me just go ahead and extend this out a little bit so you can see. We got to that 236, 44.5690. Where did we close yesterday? 44.55. Actually, we closed at 44.5623, but we went as low as 44.5581. That is a good pullback to the 236. If we break the 236, I have no doubt in my mind we're going to go down here to the 382, which is going to be at about 44.16. But as of right now, futures are up 20 points. So we'll see how we open. But it's still possible. You know, we do have potential for another, zigzag down here, down to the 382. Although I see that that 236 as support. And, I just eyeballed this. But this actually hits perfectly. That wave 5 of wave 3 hits perfectly at about 45.88. So again, looks like we could go to about 4,600. We get another pullback, right? If you're going to be playing options, you're best playing spreads, so you have less of a risk of significant decay. But I would be looking for a continued move to the upside here in the pretty near future. It might not happen today. We may still just continue to chop here today. This is very, very possible. But a move up to about 4,600, potentially early next week, is what I would be looking for. And then we get another pullback. We go up for wave 5 of wave 3, which again, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be looking for a move up to about 4,700, maybe just shy of 4,700. All right, let's go ahead and move on over into NASDAQ. We already talked about this yesterday. I thought that I was having some issues with YouTube. Turns out everything was going just fine. But at the end of the day, let me just go ahead and recap what I was discussing yesterday. I got a little distracted because of the issues that I was having. I think that it's reasonable to assume that wave 5 is in of wave 3, and we've already done a pullback. We didn't quite get all the way down here to where I was looking at wave 4 at 14,340. Right now, NQ futures are at 14,515. So we're not up too high. We're only about, potentially, let's see here. We're about right there. That's about where we're at, where that green line is. That's where futures are currently sitting roughly, just kind of estimating based off of the difference between futures and the index price. But again, looking at this still looks okay. Let's go ahead and check the pullback here and see where we're getting to our pullback. Again, very similar to the ES, right? Steep pullback in wave 2. Wave 4, we're not expecting it to be as deep. So we'll measure from wave 2 to the top of wave 3. And we've got the 236 sitting down here at 14,389. So we did not quite get there. We did not quite get to our 236 target. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. But ultimately, what I was discussing yesterday was we've got resistance here at the 50. And again, it's still possible, right? It's still very possible that we see a run up here to 14,775 before we see a significant pullback down here to where I was looking, about 14,350 or so. But ultimately, that 50 is important and the 618 is important. What happens at the 618? I was discussing this yesterday. What happens at the 618 is going to be key for what's going to be happening here in the coming weeks, right? So if we get a rejection here at the 618, which is at 15,221, I'm going to be looking to hedge short. Pretty big time, actually. I'm looking to get a pretty decent short position here to hedge my longs that I'm in, and I'm in enough longs right now that I've been holding for a while. But if we get a rejection here, and I mentioned yesterday, we could come back down and test these lows, depending what kind of a rejection that we get here, because you have to zoom out and look at the big picture. Okay, so if you look at the big picture, from the top, we've got a nice little, A, B, C, and then a nice A, B, C to get down here to these lows, right? Now, NASDAQ looks a lot different than the S&P 500. So NASDAQ actually made a new low down here on the on your normal, not the futures ticker, but we've got a new low here. S&P didn't make a new low, So I'm counting the S&P as a 1, 2, whereas this, I'm counting the bottom here as the bottom of, sort of a wave 5. Um, and with that, this does look a little bit different. Am I going to be super bearish on NASDAQ? I have to have some kind of bearish goggles on when things look different from an Elliott wave perspective. But naturally, NASDAQ and the S&P are going to move at roughly the same rate. Not necessarily the same rate, but they're going to move in the same direction, just maybe at a different rate, as we saw here, right? But watching to see what happens at the 618. If we get a rejection here at the 618, probability states that we come down here to 12,300, right? So, shorting the 618, targeting the negative 236, typically that is the trade. The big question is, how are you going to play that? If you do plan on playing that at all, options are not going to be great because this could take, 5 months to get down here to these lows. How long did it take for us to get from this high to this low over here, right? How long did that take? Well, shoot, it took 112 days. That's a long, long time. A lot of people aren't going to buy options to come all the way down here to 12,300 because they're going to be super expensive. Spreads are going to be the only thing that you're going to be able to use unless you've got really deep pockets to be able to take a trade like that. But I'm not looking to get, super aggressive short, but I will wait and see what happens at the 618 because that's really going to be key as to what's going to be happening in the future. And taking a look at SPX, going back really quickly, what I want to see is from the high on the S&P to the low on the S&P. I wonder where the 618 is on this guy. So let's just go ahead and look at this. From your dominant pivot high to your dominant pivot low, you've got the 618 right. Actually, we almost hit the 618 right there. And your wave 3 target is at the 786. In my opinion, though, if we break through the 618, we're going to get resistance here at the 786, which again is probably going to be somewhere close to our wave 3 target. But I think we're going to find support then at the 618. So I'll go ahead and move this down here, try and put a little bit of a track on where I think this is potentially going to go. Looking something like this to finish wave 3. We'll go down for wave 4. Then we'll go up for wave 5, which is probably going to be extended. That could take us all the way up to maybe 5,000. So far, so good. We're just going to have to wait and see how things go. And then we'll make a determination once we get to the 618, which again is at that 1236, which technically speaking is a target for a short. So that 1236 is right there. And again, if this is not a 1, 2, and we're working on the 3, this is an A, B, and we're working on the C, which would again end here at the 1236. That's where the 618 is. That's where the 1236 extension target is. Lots of confluence there. Expect there to be a lot of resistance. We've already seen a front run. I would expect that we're going to go back there. Wait to see what happens because we could see a rejection right there. And again, that could coincide with NASDAQ. We're just going to have to wait and see how strong NASDAQ is because NASDAQ is a lot further from that 618 than, let me see if I can get this here. And there we go. All right, NASDAQ's a lot further from that 618, but it's closer to the 50. So NASDAQ may only get to the 50 if the S&P only gets to the 618. So just keep that in your mind as we go through the coming weeks, because this is going to be really, really pretty important. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bonus here at the end. I want to take a look at Ethereum. I didn't really plan on doing it, but I've got a little bit of time here. I've been going for 14 minutes. I'm going to spend about another 5 minutes on here. I'm going to take a look at Ethereum on Bitstamp, and I'm going to go out to the daily because I was talking to the guys on the Discord earlier today, and I said that it looks to me like Ethereum is breaking out. So let me just show why I said that. So we see a pretty significant area of resistance here that broke through. And then we also see a nice area of support here, which, also broke out. The apex of this triangle is going to be key. Even if we are outside of the triangle, this apex is happening right here, right around April 4th. So let's just go ahead and mark it. once we get to about April 4th, I'm expecting a significant move. And I was talking about, kind of getting a trade, looking at this, maybe potentially pulling down to about 2,900. Again, I'm looking at this guy here as well. So this is where, we're talking about taking a move down here to about 2,900, which is right there. So if we see a nice consolidation right here, this is actually pretty good. If we can see consolidation above this trend line, then I would expect that we're probably just going to kind of move, maybe potentially up just a little bit before we see a big move. And I do expect it's going to be bullish. So just full disclosure there, I'm expecting a pretty significant move to the upside. I do have a stop loss. I think I put on the Discord that I'm looking at about 2,700 for a stop loss. That would get us right back inside of this wedge. If it comes back in here, chances are pretty good it's actually going to break down. But for right now, this actually looks pretty good. It actually looks like it does want to break up and does want to break out. So we're just going to have to take it for face value, take it for what it's worth, because it looks like we're working on a little bit of a breakout. Of course, you can probably also see this. We have another trend line right here, which I do expect this one to break, to come back and retest this guy. So we do have, again, some confluence above the triangle, but waiting for the apex or close to the apex. It may happen on around April 1st, April 2nd. Typically, that's what happens in crypto, usually around April Fools. We have a lot of people saying, yeah, it's going to dump this time, but I've gone back, I've done this in other videos. I'm not going to do it right now, but usually right around the end of April, the beginning of April, we have a significant move in crypto. And I would say the majority of the time, it has been up. It happened in 2018. It was April 2nd of 2018, somewhere around there. It happened in 2000, let's see here, it was 2019. It also happened as well. That was a significant move that really ended the bear market in 2019. So I am pretty bullish here going into April. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. I may change my bias before then. So continue to watch these videos. I will do my best to keep you guys informed. But as always, if you need access to our Discord, you have all the information that you need on bitdoctor.org. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. And of course, wherever you're in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and good evening. Take care, everyone.